it is the heart and soul of the country. One of the largest economic producers through taxes. We send billions of dollars to Washington, D.C. And I say to the city and state of New York City can't be negatively impacted by this asylum and migrant issue, because it's going to impact not only the state, it's going to impact the entire country. And I can't speculate on the actions that took place a few weeks ago. I'm going to remain focused on moving this city, navigating the city forward. But I need all of you who are on this call. I need for you to speak with your federal lawmakers, write letters, utilize the platform like you have been using your platform to ask the federal government to give New York the support that they deserve. New York City and no city, Denver, Chicago, Washington, no city should be having to carry a national problem on their own.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct. The problem was created by the federal government. The federal government has to help the cities survive through the next step. I also have to commend you, Mayor Adams, on making sure there's no cuts in the police department or the fire department, because New York is the number one is quality of life, and we have to keep our streets safe. So thank you for doing that and respecting our police officers and fire officers. What is the status of New York City workers coming to work 4 or 5 days a week?
We what we're doing in order to remain competitive with hiring and with retention. We've been having a real retention problem. I'm pretty sure many of the business leaders who are on right now know how difficult it is to staff up. Many people want to work remotely for one reason or another. And so we modified our position here to make sure that although we couldn't give raises to managers, we gave them the flexibility of being able to work remotely a few days a week, as long as it doesn't impact on their work, because we have to remain competitive to keep the city running. And we found that on exit interviews, many people were leaving because they were able to go to other employment opportunities that allowed them the flexibility of work. And so oftentimes people don't realize city workers must be as competitive as private businesses to ensure you get the best talent to run a city. New York City is a corporation, 300 over 300,000 employees of all of our agencies, all of the infrastructure of running our roads, public safety, education. And in order to make sure a corporation is humming and operating correctly, you must have the talent. And we need to do whatever we can do to retain and bring in the talent. And that was one of the areas that we saw we were losing good employees because of the lack of flexibility. And so we made that modification.
Mayor Adams, yesterday you were with Jamie Dimon from J.P. Morgan to top off the new building on Park Avenue. J.P. Morgan, one of the most powerful banks in not the country, the world. And what was your discussions with Jamie Dimon, the chairman of J.P. Morgan, about getting that building finished and filling it up with J.P. Morgan people?
Well, first of all, I said thank you to him. I thought it was the 1932 moment. And the reason I reflect on 1932, because we were coming out of the Great Depression, and it took a real heart of steel to put together steel and build the Empire State Building. And that building became a symbol of our recovery, our strength. And it was done in just a short period of time. And so that's what Jamie did. During COVID, when many people were fleeing the city, going to other municipalities, Jamie stated that J.P. Morgan was born and raised in New York, and he was not going to abandon the city. And he made that decision to build that building during COVID. And it is a magnificent building. It's a real symbol of our durability as a city and as a country. And so I told him, thank you. And we're going to get employees in that building and make sure that they remain here in the city. And his whole concern has always been, Eric, you keep it safe for us, we'll keep building and growing in this city.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have about a few minutes left. What else would you like to tell all New Yorkers about making our city have a comeback? I had Jimmy Petronis on my show the other day. He's the CFO of Florida, and he's bragging that they're going to make Miami the capital, the financial capital of the world. I said, Jimmy, I said to him, New York is the financial capital of the world. What would you say to Jimmy Petronis?
Well, you know what? We like some good, friendly competitiveness. That is what America is about. It's about the best will always emerge from the top. When I sit down with world leaders during the UN General Assembly, I sit down with mayors across the globe, with other leaders, heads of state. No one disputes the fact that New York City is number one. They argue about number two and number three. But when it comes down to what is the top city on the globe, everyone understands it's New York. So people will always be chasing New York. New York will never be chasing anyone else. And we're going to continue to remain not only the financial capital, early tech startups. We have surpassed other areas in San Francisco. We're the safest big city in America. And the diversity is our secret weapon. We are one of the most diverse cities on the globe, and we're going to continue to produce that good product that we can expect. This city is a city where dreams are made. And I think, as I stated in the beginning, you personify that by being a young man who had a dream, and look where you are now. Who would have imagined you would be running one of the top radio stations, as well as being a good business leader? This is what we produce in New York. You did not become John Catsimatidis in Miami. You became John Catsimatidis in New York, and there's a whole lot of John Catsimatidis that are sprouting and growing right now in this city.
Thank you. I love New York, and I'm going to always stay in New York, Mr. Mayor. Last question. It's a tough question.
No such thing as a tough question.
Congestion pricing. You know,
Yes.
what I said to everybody, yes, you know, we have one nail in the coffin for New York City and Manhattan. Why put a second nail in it? Why can't we just wait for congestion pricing for when after New York City makes a big comeback? I mean, I think you should go to the MTA and tell them that. They got a zillion, the MTA and the Port Authority has $1 zillion. What's an extra billion to them? Let's not punish New York.
Well, first of all, it's a federal decision, and MTA. It's unfortunate that New York City doesn't have a greater voice, since this is playing out on our city streets. I believe we should have a greater voice in the formation, the distribution of money, and it should be coming to New York City, because this is a New York City issue. The MTA and the federal government, they are in true control over this. Our state lawmakers are also part of it. We have an appointment on the committee that is going to voice the concerns of New Yorkers. Particularly, we don't want to displace traffic into those areas that are already dealing with real health issues like the Bronx. And so there are many layers to this, and it's imperative that we have a full participatory plan where people's voices are heard, that we don't overburden, overtax those who have to use those streets daily, or those who have to come to the city for whatever medical procedures, such as, if you're going for cancer treatment or something. So we are very much going to add our voice to this conversation with the MTA. But, we cannot argue the fact we have a real, again, the congestion from buildings, emissions, and car emissions is a real issue in the city, as it leads to the environmental issues that we're facing. So we have to come up with some good solutions, and we have to make sure we do them in a timely way.
Mr. Mayor, if you put your foot down, all New Yorkers will find you. And that's a commitment from all New Yorkers. And I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for coming on this Zoom call with us. And I look forward to helping you in any way possible to keep New York the greatest city in the world. Thank you so much.
Bravo.
Thank you. Take care. Good to see you guys. Be well, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.